que haya con la diversión y el buen cotorreo. Estás escuchando el show de
All right, welcome to the Houston SWL channel. I believe that was Radio La Ranchera from Mexico. I'll confirm that. But I got another old AM radio video for you. I'd done two previously, so this is going to be on the GE. I believe the number is the P209A, if I remember. And you can see it's noted as a long range. I guess the first video I did was on this Zenith 675G. I guess it doesn't say G here, but in the back you can see it. So this is a lunchbox type radio made in I think they're in the mid 60s, AM radio. It works on batteries. I got this locally here in Houston off the marketplace for I think like $20 if I remember. Works well. I didn't have to do anything with that. This was the second video I made that's up on the channels. It's another Zenith. As you can see, this is a Royal 705 and it's noted as long distance. There's another, I guess, lunchbox type radio made in the 60s, and these are pretty cool. I like them. And so I guess I did have to do some work on this one. I guess I bought it. Wasn't pulling in that many stations. Audio volume was low, so I changed all of the electrolytic capacitors. That didn't really solve the problem, and so I ended up having to change a transistor on here. You can go watch that video, and once I did that, that brought it to life, and it's pulling in stations and picking them up well. So, and then I guess I'd also gone through in the previous video. I guess this one, not noted as long distance, has 6 transistors. This has 7. I think these have the same 3 in the audio output stage, but this has an additional one up front. And you can go watch that video if you're really interested in looking at the schematics. I don't consider myself an expert in any of this, but learning and maybe know enough to be dangerous. So here we're going to talk about this GE. So this is another long range, long distance radio, and you can say this has 10 transistors. So if we look at the schematic on this one, there's a whole number of transistors in the audio stage section over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transistors, whereas these only have 3 transistors in the audio output. There's a driver and then a matched pair, where this has 6. And here in the IF module section, there's 2. And there's one here in the converter, and one here in the RF, which all these have a transistor right after the antenna. So I got this off of, if I mentioned, off of eBay, like for $18. I guess the seller had posted a video. It was pulling in stations, but you know, not a whole lot, and the audio volume wasn't as loud as it should be. You can see it sort of has a similar, this I guess on these Zeniths it's called some chromium. This facing here, so this is sort of similar with the metal. You know, they all have the straps, this kind of cardboard covered leather with the stitching on them. So it looks like these were pretty common and popular back in the 60s, mid 60s. You can see this is a General Electric. This is the volume. This one does have a high-low tone switch, and then this is the tuning knob and the volume knob here. You know, also the leather, faux leather covering, whatever this is in pretty good shape. You know, the handle looks in good shape. The sides, stitching, you know, all in really good shape. This also does have a earphone jack. And the back, you know, this looks pretty good. You know, as I noted earlier, all of them usually these snaps, because it's just like covered. I think this is covered cardboard, but yeah, they go bad after a while. And here's what the inside of this one looks like. And the only thing I can say, this was a pain in the neck to change the different components. The board wasn't too bad to get out. There's four of these screws in the corner, and then the capacitor. There was a screw here you had to take out to release that. But otherwise, that wasn't too difficult. And so here's all of the components I ended up replacing. You know, a lot of electrolytic capacitors. These were just non-electrolytics, and I really didn't need to replace most of these. They were still tested good, but I'll show you, since I had a number of those boards out, and some seems like they were like coupling capacitors, or maybe used to bias some of the transistors. I just went ahead and changed them. This is an interesting electrolytic capacitor. I hadn't seen one like that before. You know, so you run across some interesting, and this, I guess actually this one still tested okay, but I ended up replacing it anyway. So the problem with at least this GE, and my brother has a GE radio, you can see it has these sub boards. There's 3 of them. One up here, one here, and one here. So these are, if you turn this over, these are soldered into this main board underneath. So if you wanted to replace any of these components, maybe, like say, do it the right, quote unquote, way, you have to unsolder all of these connections around these subboards to pull them off. So I mean, this one wasn't too bad. It has 4, I think 6. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 7 or 8 total, and this has what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, over 10. So I ended up taking all 3 of these boards off, and I think one of them I took off twice. So that was a pain in the neck, but there are some components that aren't on these subboards that were kind of just, basic desolder and stick the new capacitors in there. And so you see this has a triple ganged tuning capacitor on it. So once I'd gone through that ordeal of doing the unsoldering, soldering the subboards, components, radio still wasn't working all that well. And so when I had replaced this non-electrolytic capacitor, I noticed that, hey, that's not connecting to anything on the board. And then I noticed that, I guess this antenna, you can see it in the back there, I guess that connection back there, I guess had broken. I guess it was like that when I got the radio. I don't think I had broken that. And so that's why it wasn't pulling in that many stations. So once I had to solder another piece of magnet wire onto there, and once I attached it to the board, that connects to this other end of the capacitor. So once that happened, it started working, I guess, like it was supposed to. So yeah, I just find it kind of fun and relaxing trying to bring these things back to life. I guess these are all battery powered, so I think that's more my speed. I would still be kind of leery working with 110, 120 volts electronics, so the battery stuff is fun and a little less pressure, and you're not spending a whole lot of money, so it's just something good to practice with. So let's kind of turn this on and see what we can pick up. Let me scroll back to the top, low end of the band, turn it on.
Upgrade to the perfect sleep setup.
Mark Redland.
Here's the local sports station.
Come on, man. Somebody. This is the same thing.
So here's the that's
Same
the
thing, finally
high, and then
Savannah got
the
hold of LeBron with that hair.
so that tone does change a lot. It seems like it's a little too bassy with the low, but
I don't know what you got to
the
do.
actually like
Whatever you
the
got to do.
static drops down. You don't hear it as well.
That $2 million, whatever he's going to get, is not worth it. You're going to get paid more.
You ready to be a monster defensively and try to slow down?
It's another talk sports channel. You can see it's pulling stations well. It's another sports talk radio show. Local Spanish station. I think I was pulling in a La Ranchera from Mexico earlier, so this might be it, or it might be one of the local stations. I think that's one of the local Houston Mexican Spanish stations. There's two local Vietnamese stations in town. This is one of them. I think 900. Another local talk radio show. Another local talk radio show. This might be La Ranchera, but like I said, I was hearing it earlier on this other radio. Oh, this actually might be it. I think this is La Ranchera from Mexico. He was coming in just like a local radio station. Just scrolling down through here. It's 1320, if I remember. There's a EWTN station down here. Got another little weak Spanish station. That could be from Mexico. And there's another local Vietnamese station down here. There we go. And there's another Spanish station as well. But down here there's another one from Mexico that comes in pretty clear on 1570. I think this is the local Houston station. So that's a quick tour of the GE, I think 190 or 290A long distance, long range radio. So if you're coming here and you're into shortwave, maybe think about just, if you sure you have an AM radio, just pull that out and start listening at night. That's when you're going to hear a number of the stations. You'll probably hear stations outside of your city. Probably from other states in the U.S. and depending on where you're located, you know, if you're down here in the south, Texas on the border, I'm sure you'll be able to hear stations from Mexico. And if you're further north, you'll probably be able to hear stations from Canada. And so just give that a try. So thanks for watching. Hope you found this sort of interesting. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Talk to you later. Aloha.